Could the sacrifice of the unblemished red heifer precede sudden destruction? Welcome to part 7 of things you probably haven't heard about the 2024 total solar eclipse. Part 7 of this series requires a clear disclaimer. Everything I am about to discuss are merely observations from my countless hours of research, not my predictions. I'm not saying any of this is going to happen this week, this month, this year, or even this decade. You will hear me say things like "we could see" or "quite possibly this year," but these are merely phrases of speech that I'm using to indicate what could happen, not what is going to happen. Let's get into it. In Daniel chapter 9, verses 26 through 27, it is written, "After this period of 434 years, the Anointed One will be killed, his kingdom still unrealized, and a king will arise whose armies will destroy the city and the holy place. They will be overwhelmed as with a flood, and war and its miseries are decreed from that time to the very end. This king will make a 7-year treaty with the people, but after half of that time, he will break his pledge and stop the Jews from all of their sacrifices and offerings. Then, as a climax to all of his terrible deeds, the enemy shall utterly defile the sanctuary of God. But in God's time and plan, his judgment will be poured out on this evil one." On October 7th, the nation of Israel was invaded by Hamas. Some locations were held captive for multiple days. This operation was named the AlOza Flood. This is Al-Aqsa, located on the Temple Mount. It's the third most holy site to Muslims around the world. This is the emblem worn by the armies of Hamas. We read in Daniel chapter 9 that the city of Jerusalem would be overwhelmed as with a flood. And the war that began on October 7th began with an invasion called the AlOza Flood. The book of Daniel was written 165 years before the Messiah, Jesus Christ, was born. Almost 2,200 years later, and we could be witnessing the beginnings of Daniel's vision and the archangel Gabriel's explanation given to Daniel and recorded in Daniel chapter 9, verses 20 through 27. But what does all of this have to do with the 2024 total solar eclipse? The sages, known as Chazal, meaning rabbis of blessed memory, taught that when the sun is eclipsed, it's a bad omen for the entire world. Could it be that the AlOza Flood was just the beginning of something much larger than any of us can imagine? Will the 7-year peace treaty be signed following Jerusalem being overwhelmed as with a flood, just as Daniel 9 verses 26 and 27 portray? Is the 2024 total solar eclipse a warning for the entire world, just as the sages taught? No one knows the day or the hour that any of these ancient prophecies will be fulfilled. What we do know is this: they will be fulfilled, because the word of the Lord will not return void. The King is coming. He stands at the door and knocks. Open your heart and let him in. Until next time, bye.